Humanity's home is no longer Earth. Interstellar travel is now a common occurrence, and technology has replaced blood and flesh. Luca, who grew up in the slums, has turned 15 and taken the selection exams. Can he become a part of the Imperial Guard, or will he be brainwashed and turned into a killing machine? The scene opens with a group of people firing at someone. Bullets fly towards a trainee and he thinks he needs to get rid of the people posing a threat to the Emperor. There's no other reason for the existence of the Imperial Guard. He fires multiple bullets at once and kills them all. After completing the job, he heads back to the base. The technology developed significantly on the Earth, but due to lack of resources, it continued to get destroyed. In the end, life on Earth ended due to an invasion by an unknown alien species. However, the survivors of humanity wandered through space and found a planet similar to Earth after a long journey. Humanity decided to call this new planet Novus, meaning new home. They sent coordinates to this new home to all of space, inviting other humans. A Balado Federation was formed, where countless alien species mixed amongst the Earthlings. An empire was formed which possessed soldiers with machinated physiques. A holy alliance was formed with priests who possessed force energy. However, the resources were finite on Novus. As a result, humanity prepared for a war to monopolize the resources. The person comes back and the instructor tells the next person that he'll be subject to a lot of comparison. Hem says that they are supposed to show the majesty of what they are capable of. This day matters a lot for them. Luca replies that they'll see who will be the unlucky one then. Hem says if that's the case, then he should live up to the expectation, and Luca agrees. He thinks he needs to be capable of dodging and blocking bullets. It's a necessary skill to become an official part of the Imperial Guards. He has completed the simulation training in most extreme situations. He's a soldier with heightened spatial awareness, thanks to all the reinforcement procedures he has gone through. He enters the arena, and a few armed men come inside as well. He thinks his opponents are 5 death row inmates with cheap cybernetic equipment. He takes out his sword and thinks this would take only 10 seconds. He dashes forward and slices a person's head. The inmates couldn't even react to his speed. The remaining 4 surround him and aim their gun at him. Luca thinks this is an opportunity to make a good impression on the Emperor, so he needs to do something noteworthy. He wonders if he could replicate what the previous person did. He has never done it before, but he must make it happen here. He needs to heighten his senses to the maximum. The inmates fire bullets at him from all 4 directions and he blocks every bullet with his sword. Hem grins on seeing Luca's performance and thinks he's doing good. Luca finishes off all 4 inmates and swings his sword clean of blood. His nose bleeds because of overexertion, but he managed to surpass his limits. He believes this would raise his value. He comes back inside, and Hem is amazed to see him use ballistic trajectory control, which isn't in the curriculum. Luca replies that he just copied the style of the previous guy. Hem says that the guy he's talking about is from a renowned household. He was already taught the curriculum in advance. He is different from him as he belongs to an orphanage. Hem says he likes him and will give him a gift. Hem places his hand on his eye, and everyone panics as to what he's doing with him. Hem crushes his right eye and says he's not fazed at all. He has done great work on pain tolerance. Hem says that he likes him, and Luca replies that he's glad. He says that he would have taken his eye out eventually. He would get him an eye that would predict trajectories. Later, Lei visits Luca and introduces himself. He came here because he wanted to talk about something. Luca sits puzzled, and Lei apologizes if it's too sudden. Luca tells him to come in nonetheless. Once inside, Lei says that he was impressed by his skills back then. Luca says that he's in the wrong place if he wishes to exchange praises. Luca guesses that Lei is probably from a famous household by his aura. Logically speaking, there's no need for him to be aggressive to someone from a noble household. He should just say that he's tired for now. Lei shows him a pill and says he came here to give him this. It'll decrease his sensitivity, and he can rest better. Luca says that he doesn't need it. However, Lei insists that he take it and have some rest for tomorrow's training as well. Luca eats the pill, and a broad grin appears on Lei's face. He thinks that this pill is better than cheap ones. Luca further says that he was pretty good and he just copied him. Lei points to his mechanical eye and says that he could easily calculate trajectories with it. His actions were much more impressive since he pulled it off with just his instincts. It seemed like the commander took notice of him and is gifting him an eye from his pocket. Luca thinks that the nobility class is excellent, while the lower class is powerless. He can't let go of this opportunity as a lower-class citizen. Lei says that some guys failed the selection process. He bet that those people paid money to manipulate results. However, someone like him who doesn't have a backup never fails at the selection. Guys like him made it here with their skills. Luca wonders why he's telling him that all nobles are not excellent. He never considered this possibility, and ponders about his motive behind this. Lei extends his hand and says that people like him should succeed. He'll be cheering him from now on. Luca shakes his hand and says that he'll do everything for the Empire. On hearing Luca say those words, Lei becomes a bit sad. Later, Lei takes Luca to the shooting practice. Luca points his gun and activates his new mechanized eye. He fires his shot at the practice body. All his shots hit the dummy's forehead. Lei says he managed to shoot all the targets in the head. Top students are of a different breed. Is he getting used to his new eye? Isn't it fair that he's this good with guns when he specializes in close combat? Luca says that it's natural for them to be good with all types of weapons. Also, he doesn't want to hear this from someone who managed to shoot every shot through the same hole. Lei says that his specialty happens to be weapons after all. Luca says that if he continues being so casual, then he'll surpass him. Lei says that he would welcome the challenge then. Just like he said before, he's rooting for him. The Empire needs people like him. The value of ability and talent is being diluted in the Empire. As long as one has status and power, even the powerless can become talented. However, if more naturally talented people like him start to appear, then folks will be able to tell who's good and who's not. Luca says that he is criticizing the Empire's system. If he reports this to the headquarters, then even he won't be able to get away despite being a noble. Lei says that he wouldn't do that in the first place as he's a good person. He hands him his gun and tells him not to worry so much. Soon enough, 2 years pass, and the final day of training arrives. Hem says that Luca and Lei will act as platoon leaders in this training. If any trainee has an issue, then they can stand up and leave. Nobody stands up and he resumes his speech. He explains that across the gorge, there's a Korite outpost that is illegally stationed in their territory. This training will test their ability in the field. He grows serious and says they should kill them all and shouldn't take prisoners. Lei says that this will be their first mission. Luca asks, why is he so nervous? He has killed so many people during training. Lei says that this is their first time facing an outside force. They all originated from Earth's humanity as ancestors, including them as well. Luca tells him not to get lost in the emotions. Does he think that the senior guards are here to protect them? The senior guards stationed at the place have full mechanical body armor. He's pretty sure that they are here to supervise them. They might kill them if they try taking people as prisoners. On this planet, other forces are bugs to the Empire. They learned this as everyone deceives the Empire for their own gains. Lei says that he knows it. That's what they were taught. He zooms in and sees a happy mother-child duo. Soon enough, the Imperial guards kill the human and destroy the place. They shoot the remaining survivors without mercy. Luca thinks that no one is armed, and this training would end without a problem. Suddenly he notices a kid crying in front of him, calling for his mom. Luca thinks that the kid is so scared that he can't even move. He thinks he's a non-combatant with no resistance. If only he had a gun, he would have finished this off quickly. He then remembers his instructor's word to kill everyone. He thinks he shouldn't hesitate. These are insects who sap up the Empire's supplies. He strikes at the child with his sword, piercing through the rock as well. The sword just misses the child narrowly and he cries in fear. Luca tells him to play dead. Only then he would be able to live. He thinks he shouldn't do this. If the headquarters knows of his actions, then he doesn't know what they will do to him. He leaves the boy and wonders if he should go back and take care of him. Suddenly, someone shoots the kid in the head. An Imperial guard sitting on top of a building took the shot. Lei nods at him in disagreement, saying that he shouldn't leave survivors. Luca wonders if Lei was watching everything unfold. He tries to calm himself down and thinks Lei won't report his hesitation about killing a child. However, if any other trainee saw this, then it wouldn't be good. For now, he needs to keep an eye on Lei. Suddenly, an explosion takes place where Lei was standing. Besides Luca, a man is pointing in the same direction. He charges up for another shot and says they should go to hell. Luca notices him and wonders if he caused that explosion. Suddenly, Lei jumps from the building and onto the man. The man, without looking behind, blasts explosives on Lei. Luca thinks that he's a force user who doesn't need a weapon. The man says that this wasn't a base, but a settlement. The people they killed were doing their best to live. Luca wonders if the instructor knew about this. If had he told them in advance, Lei could have survived it. He rushes forward at the man and thinks he can dodge the explosions. The force user's nose starts bleeding from exertion. Luca also reaches his limits. He thinks he needs to maintain the high-speed maneuver and attack him in this state. The man blasts an explosive at Luca. Luca dashes forward with his sword and strikes the man. The man on his last breath charges up the attack on Luca's face. His head armor begins to break and he wonders if this would be his death. However, the man hesitates to kill him as he sees him to be a child. Luca quickly uses the distraction to kill him. After killing him, he pants heavily. He thinks he would have died if that man went through his attack. These people have a deep hatred for them and the Empire. So why did he fail to kill him? He thinks he shouldn't let his emotions consume him during the battle. He believes he's doing the right thing as this is for the Emperor's safety. More screams echo in the place, and he thinks this is why Imperial guards exist. The scene shifts to the recovery room where numerous pods are lined up. Lei asks how it felt when he was about to die. Luca replies that he should be concerned more about himself as he almost died. Lei replies he got new arms and legs and asks if they changed something in his body. Luca replies that his back was destroyed, so he got titanium bones and artificial skin. At this rate, he'll end up with a completely new body in a few years. Lei says the boss must have known there was a force user. The reason they weren't told about this was that it was a test. Luca agrees. The seniors didn't help them as well. He finds it weird that he and others who got blasted by force attack, but survived it. That's a little too odd to say it was a coincidence. Luca says that maybe the force user didn't intend to kill them from the start. He remembers the moment when he stopped after seeing he was fighting a kid. He thinks he's a warrior, and letting him live was a mistake on his part. He'll make sure to kill every one of their kind. Lei asks why he closed his eyes on that Korean girl. Can he tell him the reason behind his action? Luca replies that he talks too much. That was a mistake on his part, and will never happen again. Later, a man says that they have now completed 2 years of their training. There will be juniors, so they should set an example for them. He especially instructs Luca and Lei as they are the top 2 students in the class. If they keep doing the work, they can become a centurion. They both reply affirmatively. Luca explains that there are 1,000 guardsmen in the Imperial Guard, consisting of centuries, and their commander is called Centurion. The man leaves and says they can continue their training. Luca thinks that cadets like him are assigned to the lowest-ranking century. If he could become a centurion of that century, then he'd consider it a success. Later, Luca and Lei are sparring with each other. Luca defends Lei's attack and Lei follows up with one more hit, pushing Luca back. He thinks that Lei got stronger after he got his new arm. As Lei charges forward, Luca kicks him in the legs, knocking him out of balance. He then stops his fist just a few inches before, and proclaims that he won all 124 rounds. Later, Lei says that he thought he would win this time, but couldn't. He asks if that centurion speech riled him up, as he has become more rigid now. Luca agrees, stating that he would be seen as an Imperial guard, so he must become strong. Lei suggests that he takes it easy. Luca replies that he has nowhere to return if he doesn't become a full-fledged Imperial guard. He needs to keep climbing the ladder. Luca further says that Lei, you have talent but lack drive. He wants to know why he still wants to become a guardsman. Luca asks if he looks at him that way. He's right to some extent, as he wanted to become an archaeologist who studies ancient civilization. Luca asks why he isn't pursuing his real goal. Lei replies that studying ancient civilizations is banned in the Empire. He asks if he's sad just because he can't do what he wants. Unlike him, countless people aren't guaranteed to live another day in slums. Lei says that he knew he would say something like that, since he's a friend, so he shared his secret with him. Luca suggests that he be careful. If others report him for this, his life will be ruined. Lei says that he won't tell the Emperor, just like he kept his secret back then. Luca replies that he only hesitated because his opponent was non-combatant. Even if he didn't interfere, he would have killed him anyway. He's loyal to the Empire as they noticed his talents. The enemies of the Empire are his enemies. He tells Lei that he's no exception to that rule. Lei jumps down and says he's a liar. If what he said was true, then he would have tried to kill him already. He suggests him not to push himself too hard. The scene shifts to their 3rd year of training mission. Lei places his hand on an arcane site and says there's still an energy response despite being millions of years old. He is fascinated by the idea that multiple civilizations explored stars before they existed. Luca thinks that he drew the line earlier, but he doesn't hesitate to cross it. He tells Lei not to be reckless. This is a reconnaissance mission, and they will have to fight if they meet another force. Lei tells him not to be worried. Even if they can't beat them, seniors will help them. A team member says that the present exists because of the past, which helps them predict the future. If he looks at things that way, then many people are interested in history. Luca thinks that Claude doesn't come from a noble family, but still has a well-respected family. Claude tells Luca that he likes him and asks if he's seeing anyone. Luca considers it a threat and gets on the defense. Claude tells him not to be worried. He was thinking about introducing his little sister to him. Luca replies that he's from the orphanage. However, Claude says that it doesn't matter. The way things are, he'll end up as his superior. He says that his sister is cute as well. Lei nudges Luca and says he's quite popular. Suddenly, they sense something in their surroundings. They put on their helmet, and Lei says that his group will provide cover from the rear. Luca agrees and says that he'll fight in front. He looks ahead and sees a person standing in front of a shining object. He looks closely at the person and sees that he's a Korite paladin. The man notices their presence, and they try to hide themselves behind the trees. He then gets his weapon out and prepares to launch it. Luca screams at Claude to run. The man fires his weapon, piercing through Claude.